Okay, guys, so we're going to mix things up a little bit here, and we're going to talk about CARRD once again, the design software as a service for agencies and folks selling web design or web marketing as a service in a niche market, vertical, industry, etc. All right, so I'm going to actually share with you what I think is the absolute, almost foolproof advice for those of you who want to start right now. Today's the 7th of March, 2025. It's a Friday. I'm convinced that pretty much anybody who wants to use this exact system starting like today in the next 2 weeks could have a profitable business that not only is making money, but is making a lot of money, or at least is on track to making a full-time income that exceeds or replaces whatever it is that you may be doing in the world right now. I know there are lots of different sorts of people that listen to these audios and that are in our community as well. Some of the folks in our community are actually very, very successful already, and others are just getting started. But I'm going to give you, I think, a very different way of thinking about this relative to the sort of generic advice I see everybody else. So I'm a shitty designer, right? I'm not a web designer, but I could take this exact system right here using CARRD and turn it into a profitable business in a week. So step number one, and this is so important, is pick a niche, right? You need to actually have an ideal audience, a target market, or a quintessential, client or community in mind before you start. Everybody is not a niche, right? If you're just like targeting everybody in a scattershot way, it just doesn't work. It hasn't worked for me in the past trying that, and it won't work for you either. You want to actually narrow down your niche so that you're targeting just the sort of people that you want to build relationships with and that make establishing yourself as the expert, the go-to guru, whatever the right phrase is, much simpler. Step number two. This is something that you won't hear other people tell you, but I will tell you because it's worked for me, and it's the only thing that works for someone like me who is not a designer, right? So pick a template, right? This is so damn simple and such a differentiator, and it's so important. Like, you do one sort of site and one sort of site only, or you do one sort of or maybe make it like 2 or 3 at most, right? So if you don't want to just stick with one template, like a profile or an about me style template, like a link tree style template, that is actually what I recommend most people do because they're so already well established in the marketplace. Like, everybody knows that those are the lion's share of websites that folks use on social media. When people click on their link in bio or whatever, they're going to a link in bio, right? CARRD actually allows you to do that in a way that's far superior than using, let's say, Instagram service or Linktree or link in bio service that send you to their domain, right? Most of those places send you to their their platform, right? CARRD lets you do these for your clients on their own domain. You want to build your brand and ostensibly build your client's brand on your land, or in this case, on their land, right? You don't want to get stuck building something on a platform that's going to disappear potentially, in a month, a year, 3 months, etc. And if you don't think that happens, it happens all the time. It's happened to me just in the last couple of days. I was looking at read.cv, which is a great, sort of like, I guess, like a LinkedIn for creators and creatives and designers that I actually signed up with, I don't know, like a year ago, that I really love, and everyone seemed to really love them. I just looked at their Twitter feed or their X feed, and they're out of business, right? They're sunsetting their entire platform like this spring, like 2025, right? So you want to actually use a service that you want to build a domain or a website on your own domain rather than using some sort of hosted service like Link in Bio, Linktree, etc. Same thing happened to Bento.me, a great alternative to like the Linktrees of the world, a great alternative to like the CARRDs of the world, and yet they sold to like Link in Bio or Linktree or whatever, one of those platforms, like 3 months after they launched their successful platform. And everyone who, built on that as an alternative to those was now actually owned by the company that they were actually trying to be an alternative for. So, build your site, build your brand on your own land. I can't emphasize that enough. All right. Step number 4, really important. Build a back-end site that supports the niche market or vertical or local community, in particular, which is very powerful, for the community that you want to own or earn. I'll give you an example of one of these that I don't really kind of update all that much. It's a project with some other folks, but it's sjlist.com. We were targeting local South Jersey people and professionals, so we built a back-end community to sort of augment and improve the appearance of expertise and authority when we approached folks to sell them sites, right? And it works wonderfully well. In this particular case, I have so many projects going on that I just kind of like didn't really want to work on that. So, but you can see it still gets updated and it looks great. It's built on Ghost, etc. All right, number 5, outreach. You need to have some sort of outreach. Nothing moves until you do some sort of email or social media outreach, right? I recommend email because it plays, it's easier for me. I don't spend a lot of time on social media. I get a lot of spammy sort of emails on social media, and I tend to not really appreciate offers or invitations from folks that emanate from Instagram or Facebook or whatever. As a matter of fact, I actually, it's a turnoff to me. Like, people will send me private messages on Instagram for, like asking questions about videos or audios like this one that they've watched on YouTube or something. And that is annoying to me. Like, I don't want to get like someone sending me something privately on, like a personal page of mine or whatever. So I recommend email because email is more appreciated by folks like myself, or at least me, speaking for an N of 1. I appreciate offers like this coming directly to my inbox. All right. Step number 6, you need an irresistible offer. And this is how we put all this together, that references the back-end authority site and that makes selling the back-end service easier by dint of you owning something in your local community or in your niche market or the wider sort of space that you're in, the industry. And it has, an obvious appeal to folks in your target market. So when I approach therapists or mindfulness-based teachers or folks who are like dealing with clients in the mental health industry, we have therapist-related, websites. We have an Etsy store, we have like a directory, we have a map-based like sort of listing site, etc. It makes it very easy to say to somebody, hey, here's what we're offering. And oh, by the way, when you sign up for X, we also give you a free premium listing on Y, or we add your face to our map in XYZ community, etc. The same thing with, the New Jersey based, when you're reaching out to New Jersey based entrepreneurs, when you own a website that looks like an asset to the person looking at the offer, and it makes it easy to, convey all the ways in which a relationship with you, in this case, you, the person doing the, the selling, is advantageous to them way above and beyond, hiring some rando, designer in the world who can't offer you, like a interview on their local authority site, or, a circle style community, or a ghost-based newsletter, or, anything similar to that. And an example of a big back end offer is something like, incorporating testimonials in a CARRD landing page, or a newsletter marketing service using CARRD and their beautiful, designed, email marketing opt-in forms that are, oh, by the way, work perfectly well out of the box with like a shit ton of email marketing services like MailChimp, ConvertKit, Button Down, Send, MailerLite, et cetera, right? All those are supported by dint of an API or a simple little bit of code on the CARRD back end that is ridiculously easy to, or it's not even code, it's just like you're adding the API key, let's say from MailChimp or ConvertKit or Button Down, and then you may have to add the specific list or Beehive or whatever. Each one of these has its own little slightly different requirements, but it's all very, very simple to do. And if you're offering people a low-cost CARRD website and then have this big back-end offer that you're building in, which is, hey, we'll also do email marketing for you. Do you have an email marketing service that you use? Because here are the ones that CARRD supports. And oh, by the way, we can send out your newsletter once a month using on MailChimp for you, or on ConvertKit for you, et cetera, et cetera. Or we'll add all of your local reviews or testimonials to your CARRD landing page using, one of the testimonials, .to or Senja or FameWall or any of those sorts of services, which you can also recommend as an affiliate. So you're taking a very simple CARRD landing page, you're offering it to a very specific sort of niche, you're keeping the template very, very tight, so you're only offering like an about me sort of page or a newsletter sort of page, and you're not getting into all this like ridiculous design stuff, which for someone like myself would be a terrible idea because I'm a bad designer. And, I also don't want to be like getting calls from somebody or emails from somebody asking me to change a color or a logo, or like that's a pain in the ass. And I'm also colorblind. So in my own personal life, having done that sort of work in the past, I know it becomes an annoyance. So the more simple that you make the offer to folks using something like CARRD or like Framer or anything similar to that, the tighter that your target audience is, the easier it is to convey the value that you confer to your clients, and the less mess and stress and strife you're actually going to have with the people that you work with, because you don't sell design like as this open box system of like, animations and all this, sort of superfluous stuff that you don't need, or they don't need, and you don't need in your life. If you're just getting started, I don't recommend that path. Most designers, even ones who are very good, if you look around, you'll see a lot of, kind of memes about working, with clients who are a big pain in the ass. Very rarely will you have a client who's a pain in the ass with this sort of setup, because you're essentially creating, it's a productized service. It's actually a very direct and specific, almost like a product that they're buying, a landing page with a newsletter integration or a testimonial integration on CARRD, and then they get a featured listing or something on your directory or on your map or whatever it may be. And It just, it's almost like a can't miss proposition in a number of different ways like that. All right. So again, this is, you also want to capture like what I consider like the zeitgeist of the moment. Today, Substack, for an example, is a huge industry and a huge sort of market that everyone is kind of at least tangentially familiar with. So you actually want, when you offer someone a newsletter, right, they all kind of know. If I'm talking to a therapist or a mental health or mindfulness-based professional, they know what Substack is, and they just don't know how to get started. They don't know what the right approach is. But if you're incorporating that into the front-end design that you're offering them, and then offering to help them or send their newsletter for them or create content for it, etc., you're actually taking advantage of something that empirically they know they need in some way to succeed, on the level that they really hope to succeed, right? So I'm saying a lot. I'm going to stop because this is longer than I wanted it to go. If you have questions about this and you're in our community, feel free to ask. CARRD in particular is great for this because it's so damn easy and so affordable. You can literally do all this on for under $100 to start, and have like a ton of sites to be able to sell to clients. Teach what you know, do what you love, wake up the world with your work. As always, I appreciate you listening and have a wonderful day.